why we are here and what we plan to do. So, what is PugliaTechs? For everybody who doesn't know yet, we are a grassroots tech community, and we really want to build things up from the bottom up. So that's what we do. It's a bit small to read, but yeah, we're all passionate for tech and entrepreneurs and everything. We're bringing it all together. So this is our second tech talk, and much more coming up. Our mission is to foster growth through knowledge sharing, networking, and hands-on events, one like this, both online and in person. So besides these lovely people here in the audience, thank you very much for coming, even though it was raining. We also have people online following our live stream, and thanks to our technical people, they can actually follow the live stream, which is good. So thanks, it's a good example. We really, really have big ambitions, and we also know you have to start with what you have, so that's what we do. But we have a global perspective, but we also really, really feel our Puglia roots. And you can wonder why is there a blonde girl saying this? Because I also love Puglia. And I'm from the flatlands in the Netherlands. So yes, we do want to put Puglia on the map, on the global map, on the European map. We want to build up this startup ecosystem and make really, really good solutions together. And we want to empower the local talent, and that's why we also work together with the local institutions, and one of them is Bona Sforza. Thank you very much for hosting us, so that is also really good. And yeah, innovation and talent and bringing it all together. We're going to repeat these things until everybody knows them by heart, me to start. We do monthly events, and we always do at least dual track. So it's all either tech and business. We don't want that anymore. So we want to build up communities, which is everybody here, combining all these talents. We want to get startups and enablers in. So we want to learn from them and promote them and get them all together. Institutions, as said, technology, knowledge, finance, advice, anything we need to build up this ecosystem. And of course, we also need investors, and we are hoping for as both the public funding and the private funding. So we have, as said, big ambitions. And on the last one, I think we have a novelty. So that's why I give the word to Marco. Thanks.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Just a quick news update. How do you? Okay, sorry.
No worries.
It's not working? Okay. We cannot see properly, but essentially Innovap, which is the association for tech startups in Italy, decided to be as a partner of PugliaTechs, which is a fantastic news for us. Again, it's just the beginning, so we would like to have more association, regional, national involved. And investors as well. So, you know, our doors are open. So anyone that is interested to talk, we're happy to have a conversation about that. And the end goal is to really create kind of an AI agent system. So we want to facilitate networking. We want to facilitate business. So essentially interaction among actors in the ecosystem in Puglia. So let me start with the first speaker. Today we have Pierpaolo coming from New York City. He will talk about the future of work, leveraging AI. So very, very important topic for any knowledge worker today. So without further ado, I give you the stage to you.
Thank you, Marco. I'm actually coming from across the street, not from New York City. So I live there, and I've been there for like 10 years now. But it couldn't be any more convenient than this, because I'm born and raised just down Via Gentile, if you guys know. So perfect commute today. Thank you for having me, first of all. I'm the first speaker, so we're going to have to break the ice tonight. This is just amazing, honestly, to see you all here. This is something that we could not dream to have this kind of conversation just like a few years ago in this place, in our place, in English, with so many international, like-minded people. And I feel like it's an exciting opportunity. And usually when I start like a presentation, I would say, it's a pleasure to be here, right? Today, I'm going to start by saying it's different to be here. And it's different because today we're not just going to talk about AI and the tech scene and all the innovation, but it's about our territory. It's about why we're here, why we're here now, believing that we could make something happen out of this place, something great happening out of Puglia, out of our place, like it's never been before. And I think this kind of journey is really what we share here. In some form, in different shapes. Each and every one of us has been experimented, has been traveling around the world, has been going somewhere else, for any reason. But now we're all here, trying to make something happen. And if I can go to the next slide. All right. Let's see if it works. Perfect. So let me just explain what I mean by different for me. And let's start from this kind of unusual title that I chose. So video didn't really kill the radio star, like as a reference to the famous song. Why would AI harm our career or harm ourselves? That's not the case if we believe in this technology, if we're trying to stay up to speed with what's happening with the tech scene. And I think just like the shift from radio to video completely changed the media landscape. I think that's exactly what's happening right now with AI and the global system. However, I think that instead of fearing the AI, instead of think that AI is going to steal my job, AI is going to put me out of my career, we should try to approach this kind of revolution in a more positive and proactive way, and just trying to leverage AI in a way that is going to advance our career, in a way that is going to unleash its power in our favor. So not as a threat, but as an opportunity. And my presentation is all going to be about this. This is not going to be a technical presentation. I'm not going to teach you how to build your AI bot. You could probably teach that me much better than I could. This is going to be about your career, our career, how we can try to be a modern and leading professional in this new AI-driven world, and how we can succeed in not trying to become obsolete very soon, in a few years from now. So, technology. Now, as I said, it's a pleasure to be here. It's different to be here. This is just a quick snapshot of who I am, my journey. I'm not gonna go through all this. I can share my CV in a different place. This is just to say that my journey, my career journey, brought me here tonight, back home, and I feel like similarly, I'm coming back here very much changed, very much different than who I was where I left Bari pretty much 15 years ago. And I realized that today, it's been 15 years, but it's actually my very first time having a presentation, in my place with all of you here. And it's just different. I think, it's the right time to have this kind of conversation, because the AI revolution that is happening right in front of our eyes is just reshaping any kind of industry. It's reshaping any kind of sector. It's reshaping your business, probably. If not already, it will very soon. And it's reshaping ourselves as individuals. So what I mean by that? I mean that also for our geographical perspective, there's a chance to become better, to land in a better place, thanks to the new technology, thanks to the AI, and thanks to this big reshuffling that is happening all around the world. So, well, now let's jump into the core of my presentation today. Those are just 3 bullet points that I put here, but let me try to explain. Hopefully I can share some useful insights, or some food for thought for what to make out of the AI. My first point here is about the data quality, and that data quality matters. So what I mean by that is that there's a chance now to really build trust with the human touch. There's a chance to really provide high valuable content to those big techs or AI companies that are trying to build those models, that are trying to train their models. And I'm not gonna drop any names tonight, but there's many companies, many media companies, or many small to medium companies that are trying to do so in different ways. Either you have the power to go to the big tech and say, hey, let's strike a deal. I'm gonna license my data to you, I'm gonna help you train your model, and you can monetize that kind of data. That's what's happening at the big level. On a second tier, on a middle tier, there's smaller media companies that are actually coming together, trying to pool their knowledge, pool their data, pool their information that is extremely valuable to those AI companies. And you can almost negotiate as a network if you want to participate in this kind of process, if you want to help those companies build their models. That's another opportunity that is actually rising from this AI craze, let's say. On the other side, you might say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to help the AI companies, build their models. I don't want to, I want to keep my own data. I want to keep my know-how. I want to keep my knowledge. And I would rather try to monetize that myself. And that's also possible. So that's another opportunity as an individual, professional or as a company to build on top of those AI models. You can build your own framework, your own platform, your own ecosystem, and maybe you can retain that kind of value. You can use their technology to do something good specific for your own sake, for your own company. I just have an example right here. Coming from the US, the Super Bowl is a big thing. So, and there was a big mistake, quite frankly, by Google AI just a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, for their Super Bowl ad. So basically, they created this sort of ad through their Google AI, but unfortunately, their model said that Gouda cheese accounted for more than 50% of the global cheese market in the ad. And that's, of course, very far from the truth, not even close. But that's not because the Google AI had what we call an hallucination. That is because the Google AI was sourcing information from the internet, was sourcing information from some websites that were displaying some false information or some wrong numbers, quite frankly. So all of this to say that the AI models are only good as the data that we're training them on. And that's where we can play our part if you want to be part of this process. And that's where some opportunities might be for new jobs, new roles, new kind of connections or partnerships with those kind of companies, because the human touch or the human fact-checking, the human interaction and verification of that content could be something valuable. So there might be jobs that are going to go away, there might be jobs that are going to be reshaped, but there are also some other things that are going to be created out of this. And that brings me to my second point, which quite frankly, I think it's going to be also shared in the next presentation. I don't want to spoil the next speaker, but I think, when I said building on top of those existing AI, so that's where I say, verticalized solutions, those are providing immediate return on investment. Those are providing immediate, tangible results, instead of just applying general AI to the public. An example might be if you have a company, if you have like a group of individuals, you can just say, hey, here's ChatGPT, try to do something efficient with that. Become more efficient, do something with it. That's probably not the case. It's going to be very difficult for people who are not trained to use AI, people who don't really know what's happening, to come up with something smart. Best case scenario, they're going to draft some better emails, or they're going to sort through their archive and do something okay, but it's not disruptive. On the other side, if you build something very specific that is going to solve a task in a simple way, or is just going to simplify your life with a feature, a specific workflow automation, or something tangible that you can look at it, hey, that's going to help me do my whatever task in a better way. You can visualize that thing. Then if you give that to the people as part of a framework, as part of an ecosystem, as part of a platform, then that's easier. And then you're guiding people through the AI process, guiding people to be more efficient. And that's easy to say, very hard to do, even for the big companies. I can tell you that the traditional management is struggling because they don't have that kind of know-how. They want you to think they have it, but they don't. And that brings me to the third point that you can see on the slide right here. And that's about the rapid, very quick innovation cycle that we are experiencing right now. And that's where I say, constant learning is key. And what I mean is that, honestly, each and every one of us should not be afraid of the so-called, imposter syndrome. Because quite frankly, there's no real expert, there's no 10-year expert on AI. Everything is happening right now in front of our eyes. So do not be afraid to experiment. Do not be afraid to just jump into this kind of field. And do not be afraid of, honestly, share your ideas, share your opinion, try to contribute to this world, do something, even if it's not perfect. Well, I'll take it back up on the next slide. But let's try to make something good out of it, but don't be afraid, because there's really no experts in this field. And even if you're not a technical engineer, even if you're not a software developer, that's okay. I'm not one of those. I'm trying to contribute to that kind of world with my business development expertise, with my strategic partnerships expertise. So something from a different angle, from a different, area, you might say. But trying to also, this is also my personal journey. I'm trying to reposition myself as an AI leader, because I know that's going to be the future, and I'm trying to become more a voice in this kind of field as I learn, as I go. It's never going to be perfect. And that's also, what I mean by bridging, the ambition of companies who want to experiment with AI. I think something happened with the microphone, but I can keep going. If you, oh, it's even better. Okay, good. So I was saying, bridging that kind of gap between the ambition of some companies who want to experiment with AI and how ready those companies are to become, good players in this kind of field. I would say there's many examples that I could bring here. One of those is, this 17-year-old guy who were just, he created like a new app, a fitness tracker app, basically built on top of ChatGPT for things you could actually do by just going to ChatGPT and uploading your image and say, hey, what am I eating here? What are the calories of this chicken, whatever, and what are the macros of this chicken? So for nutrition purposes. But he created something like that, knowing that there was a gap in the market from other apps who were not that efficient in doing so. So he's not reinventing the wheel here. He's just creating like a box. He's creating an experience for people to just go there and use his app, called AI, to build that kind of thing. He's not training the model. He's not building the AI. He's building on top of it. So it's an ecosystem. It's an infrastructure that is building, and he's making millions out of the most established players who are losing some of the market share because of these new apps. So just one of the examples of building on top of that. As I go to the next slide. Well, one message that I would like to share, and it's not really the final message, but before we open up to questions and before we try to have a conversation about this, as I said, everything is really working at a crazy speed, something that we've never seen before. The innovation pace is just skyrocketing, quite frankly. And sometimes, it feels like the whole world is just trying to do something, and it's working like a big, massive startup, when you say, hey, move fast, break things, that's the classic, startup, I would say, motto, I would say. But at this point, I would say we should really think about what we're doing. We should probably try to think first and then make things better. Better for your product, better for your company, better for your region, maybe, and better, quite frankly, if we could, for the society. Because at some point, there's going to be like a point of no return. It's really, fascinating on one side. It's exciting, for sure. But it's also, challenging and potentially devastating, quite frankly, for the whole society if we don't control that. 3 more minutes. So I can already start, taking questions if you guys have, trying to understand if you guys have experimenting with AI, what do you guys think about, the whole revolution that is happening. In the meantime, I'll keep talking if you guys don't have any questions. Or if you got questions from online as well, just stop me here anytime. You can feel free to, because we got 3 more minutes. The only, I would say, last message that I would say, probably to sparkle some conversation here, is that there's a good thing, which is, we're living longer. That's good. The bad thing is that we're going to have to work more. We're going to retire much longer. So usually before, careers were like 30, 35 years, right? So that was like one career cycle. You could be fine with that, especially like a few years ago, staying the same. You could be fine by not, reinventing yourself. And that's because, the innovation was not that fast and we were working less. Now it's not the case anymore. We are working more and the innovation cycle is just going, month after month, quite frankly. Not even last month, we saw DeepSeek AI coming out of China, out of nowhere. I had no idea that thing existed. We had no idea how they were building that thing, how ethical it was, I don't know. How legal it was, I don't know. But still, it came out of China and it's pretty much outpacing any existing AI models. The week after, I was reading about this Kimi AI already outpacing DeepSeek, and that's absolutely, it's challenging even to keep up with this kind of innovation. So that's what I mean by, constant learning by doing, just staying, in the new cycle. Honestly, it's helping to connecting the dots here. Because honestly, I would say we're going to have to reinvent ourselves over and over again. If 10 years ago you would have told me, hey, I have no idea that I would be here tonight talking about AI to all of you. If you ask me in 10 years from now where I'm going to be, I have no idea. There's no realistic answer to that. But the only thing that I know is that we are going to have to reinvent ourselves, be flexible, be dynamic, trying to, be up to speed with the technological cycle. And we're going to be in a different place. That's for sure. Marco. Thank you, guys. Here for any questions now or later.
No, I mean, if we have questions, please.
We got one question. That's your question or someone else's question?
My question.
Okay, good.
Maybe for the audience I can... Oh, okay, thanks. So just a quick question. If there's other mic, okay, great. So for a startup that is building a product that uses AI to solve a business problem, so a new startup, how would you approach the fighting back on this company using data for training? So how would you position a new business to build trust around the fact that the company is not using AI without any legal side, just as a storytelling communication? How would you approach it for a startup?
I think for a startup, there's different approaches you could take. One, you could go on your own, and that's the difficult role, trying to establish your brand, trying to establish your voice, trying to be like an opinion leader, through some PRs, through some, digital marketing, through some, being active in the scene. That's one strategy. That's hard. It takes time, especially if you're new. Another option could be try to partner with other companies, whether are different startups, so companies your size, or trying to upsize and go to the medium, top tier, trying to provide them some value. So they have no business partnering with you unless you can really bring something to the table. And if you can find that kind of, maybe you've got some special talent, some special technology, something you can license them. Maybe you work in a niche, I don't know your business, but maybe you have some specific data those companies are looking for. I'll give you an example. Well, not sharing names, but we also build some general news AI, but we also work with insurance business, right? We do not have that kind of specific company to train the model on insurance content unless you partner with a third party who's the leader, or who's like the person coming from that specific industry. So you can always find your niche and your a gap in their offer to partner with those big companies. And that could be the second option. The third could be just, building like a network like, you guys are doing, trying to come together as a local network and trying to, maybe negotiate, better deals, coming as a pool of startups, as a pool of companies, maybe connected to the territory. I'm just, talking out loud now. I'm just, coming up with some ideas, but trying to be creative. Strategic partnerships are everywhere. So find the gap, see where you can where you can bring something to the table, and make it happen, I would say. Yeah.
Another question.
Give me the mic. I'm not going to give the mic.
Thank you for your words. You mentioned before about the speed of this technological changing. don't you have the feeling that there are a lot and even more people outside that are not taking this train, and the gap is becoming bigger and bigger, and this could be also an opportunity? Now you mentioned find an opportunity, a place where you can insert,
where you can play.
Yeah, because you said maybe there are some developer here about AI, but in my experience there are also a lot of people that are not interested to use this tool today. So how to reduce this gap, how to take on board these people? I think that it's a big question now.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think it's a fact. It's not an idea or a chance. The vast majority of people, the vast majority of even like big companies, I'm telling you, even like the top tech players, they're not fully ready for this. So they're trying to, you know, make it look they're ready, but from the inside, they're not. Their talent, their software engineers, their management is not fully ready for this. Anyone is trying to do something to keep up with that, whether for, you know, image, for, you know, shareholder value, for the stock price, and there's so many reasons. And I think, you know, this is one of the reasons why I'm trying to advocate for, you know, to play with it, to not be afraid of, you know, jump into this pool, even if you are not really like an expert in it. So try to learn something, just see how you can, you know, play with it. There's so many angles. You could be like a business developer, a business development person trying to create some deals with AI. That's also what I've personally been involved with over the past 2 years. You can be a software developer. So here's the thing. It is changing very quickly. Even just, you know, 10 years ago, they were just telling us, hey, learn English, hey, learn coding, and learn Chinese, because that's going to be the future. And, you know, if you don't do that, you're going to be out of the market. The thing is that right now, if you have one of those, you know, no-code AI agents, probably you don't even need to be like a super experienced software engineer. And if you have any, you know, new generation smartphone, you don't need to learn Chinese, because you can translate in real time as you speak. And so all I'm saying is that, yes, there is something, you know, like, do something. I'm not exactly sure it's going to be the right thing to succeed, but it's like, you know, moving little steps into that direction. It's like when you ride a bike, like, you know, the first few steps, it doesn't matter the direction you're going. As soon as you start moving your feet, you're going to find the balance, and then you're going to start going. So I think that's a good, you know, metaphor for this kind of thing. So move any step, any direction, whether it's right or left, or whether it's wrong, but you're going to start moving. And once you are, you know, with your balance, then you can, you know, accelerate that kind of personal journey, personal process. And I'm not sure if you're like a software engineer or you're from like a different angle, but it works the same. So do something in any direction.
Okay.
But let's try to be responsible while doing that.
Last question, because we are a little bit tight on time.
Good evening. Thank you very much for your talk. My name is Maria Rosaria Buri. I'm a professional interpreter, a conference interpreter, and professional translator. And I'm proud to have my students here because I also teach here in Bona Sforza. But as you might imagine, a mechanical translation, as they used to call it, I mean automated translation. Let's not speak about Google Translate, but a good translation tool represented a big threat for all of us translators in, let's say, about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, more or less. But now times are a-changing, to quote Bob Dylan, because actually they are changing, and we find more specific grammar correction and also translation tools that are more polished, if I can use this word. Maybe it's not appropriate in a technical context. But to what extent do you really think that advances will come soon in order to support us with these good translation tools? Because they have to be really good, because we are quite demanding as a group of people, professionals.
Of course. So first of all, disclaimer, I work for Reuters, we do, real-time translation for business news across the world, pretty much real-time. So that's also part of our business. I'm not going to mention that in my answer now, but just a little disclaimer. It's a real threat for, quite frankly, your job, your profession, your sector, real threat. I would say that, as always, I say the perfect mix is when you have 90% automation and 10% manual human effort. That way, you are not going to be out of this cycle. Maybe you're going to do something more high value. You're going to, jump into this process at the final stage with the first draft already being prepared by the AI tools, with the first, the almost final draft and final recommendation already being laid out for you. You're going to save time. Maybe you're going to do less of the initial pre-screening work. You're going to do more volume. So there's always one way to really match the automation part, the automation part and the human value of, fact checking, double checking anything. I think that's the right one. Me personally, I have many examples and many companies that I've been working with also in the translation business. We never go full auto. That's what we say. We never go 100% replacing humans or your sector. There's always like a balance between those two. So it's a challenge for sure. You're going to have to, again, reinvent yourself and maybe be more valuable in the last stage of this process rather than the previous one. Of course.
Thank you very much, Pierpaolo.
Thank you all, guys. Yeah.
May I use this? So now we move to a completely different presentation on marketing and in particular ad budgets. We have Davide from Switzerland that is connecting remotely. Davide is the co-founder of the firm called ByteCode. Is a mid-sized firm focused on marketing automation and e-commerce in Italy. They basically building this kind of a tool to optimize the advertisement budget. And today he's going to talk about this AI copilot to essentially optimize the budget for any firm. So let's see if we are ready to go. Okay. Davide is there. I can see him. Fantastic. So I guess, can we start with him or? Davide, do you hear us? Yes. Hello, Davide? No, we are mute. We are mute. Okay. No, there is the. Doesn't work. Connect. Okay. Davide, do you hear us?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Okay. Do you... Davide, could you share your screen? Ok. Puoi provare a scrivere, do you wanna... Okay. So this is the life of a live event. So obviously there are always some little technical events. So I'm just texting to him. Okay. Okay. Davide, do you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess, we can start. If you can share your screen, your presentation.
Sure.
You have, we are a little bit tight on time, so we're going to be more into the 15 minutes plus Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, I switch off now. Okay. So just to be sure, let me know if everyone is seeing the presentation. Just to confirm.
Yes.
Because I don't see anyone. So, okay. I assume right now that everyone is seeing the presentation right now. So, good night, everyone. I'm Davide Panelli, one founder of ByteCode, which is a consulting company and software development company based in Milan, and is focused on helping customers with their e-commerces. So tonight we will talk about Retail Advantage, which is one of our products that was born from our experience of managing budgets from this kind of customers, so e-commerce customers. And we will see a couple of interesting things. Of course, paid advertising, I think that every one of us every day is a target from this kind of advertising, because basically while we actively looking for a product or service, or we are just randomly scrolling on any social media, or even if we don't pay the premium account on Netflix while we are looking at our favorite show, we just being constantly hit by this kind of advertising. So tonight we will see the other side. So we will see the side of companies that are paying big tech company like Google, Meta, and this kind of company to advertise their products or services to us and try to find new customers among all of us. So this is, as you imagine, this is a very dynamic landscape, because what is working today may not work tomorrow, maybe just simply because a new trend has emerged and the customer are not looking for one product, but one another. Just think how things move fast in fashion, for example. One day, one brand is on the top, and a few days after, it's just not searched by anyone. Or, for example, one of our competitors have something like 1 million or to manage, and you have a 10,000 product catalog. How you decide to use this budget in what kind of instruments that you have today? Well, basically not very much today. Everything is decided many times from gut feeling. So I feel that this product will be good. So I put some kind of budget on this one. I have this new launch, so I will put some budget there and so on. So it's very hard to manage this kind of budget on large catalogs with an environment that is changing basically every day. Because, as I said, tomorrow my competitor could create a discount, an offer, change the pricing and stuff like that. Even more, there are a lot of data inconsistencies. As we see before, data quality is everything. And for example, in commerce, it's fun because sometimes you go into the Google advertising console and said, okay, last month you sold 100K. And then you go to the Meta console and say, oh, okay, you sold 100K. Oh, wonderful, I sold 200K. But if you go to your platform, you say that you only sold maybe 160 and 170 and say, okay, why is that? Because of course, every platform wants to, let's say, to draw your budget to their platform. So they are overestimating their sales. And it's very hard to really understand where your money are really worth it. And as I said also before, the goal of the platform is to use 100% of the budget that you give them. So it doesn't matter if your product isn't selling, they will push it anyway, maybe in places not really relevant to it. But if you give to them, let's say, the freedom to do that, they will do. So this results in a very huge amount of your budget being thrown away and not be relevant and not drawing, let's say, any kind of real revenue to your company. And of course, the conceptual model that we developed, it's not so hard. It's what you, let's say, what a human can do, let's say, working every day on it, but it's very difficult because he has to, for example, collect data from various sources. You have, let's say, the data from the platform itself, from Google, from Meta, or whatever advertising platform you're using, but you have to put together with the first party data. So the data of your e-commerce. So what the people is looking into your website, what people are really buying on your website, how much the time spent everywhere, what are the most common searches. And also you have other kind of data that you can integrate in your model, because you can also integrate weather data. Because if you're launching for example, the winter collection like this year, but the winter is not really started because of the climatic changes, we can immediately see on sales these kind of effects. So integrating also data like weather-like data, it's important to maximize your budget, because you are trying to push very heavy coat when outside there are 20 degrees. It's not gonna work. So what you should do with all this data is to create product clusters. So you say, okay, I can create products that I know that works in a certain way. And also there are different performance goals that you want to achieve, because of course you want to achieve sales, but maybe you are not chasing maximum net profit, but you are just chasing to acquire more customer, because the customer lifetime value of a new customer is very high. So you can even, let's say, decide to lose some money on the first sale, because you know that on the long run you will be making money on the new customer. So when we say performance goals, not just the pure sales, but it can be tailored to specific goals of the specific company. And based on that, you create some budget and say, okay, on this cluster of products, I just want to spend this amount of money because it makes sense. And then, of course, you have to monitor those results. Okay, this is a cycle that any human can can do. But in traditional companies today is something that is made, I think, if it's good, something like once a month, if you have an internal team doing all that. So of course, when the things change day by day, it's really too slow to really adapt and optimize the budget that you are spending. So what we have done, we've taken this process and created this product that just basically runs through the cycle every day constantly and tries to optimize the spending of the budget. So it's a very narrow AI with a very specific focus. So basically the first layer, as we've seen, is the data retrieval layer. So basically we try to source the data from all the platform that we could have. So we of course, we connect to the advertising platforms. We use the first party data from your website. And also we monitor top 3 competitors that you have, because of course it's really important to see that. And of course we can integrate some alternative data source based on the specific business. All this data are collected every day, and all this data cleaned to avoid strange effect, because it's fun, because for example, there are some websites that when they for example goes out of stock, they change the price and they put a very lower price, for example, a very high price, to do some sort of price squatting, basically, because they know that there are competitors monitoring the prices, and so they try to derail the algorithms of competitors. So it's very important also to taking in account this kind of thing, cleaning the data to be sure that we have data that makes sense. All this data are passed to this to let's say the core decision layer that we will see afterward, which basically cluster the products in different clusters. So high performing product, low performing product, and or totally ignore product. Because I think that we have seen that the advertising platforms, probably to optimize their internal working, have a very strong survival bias. So when you have few products that works, even if you have a 10,000 products catalog, they continue to spend on the same product. So basically you have maybe 10,000 products, 200 products that are selling well, and 9,800 completely ignored by the platform. So this is not what we really want, because of course we have a lot of products and we want to try to sell all of them. And all of that decision basically results in an action, which could be increase a budget for a specific cluster of products, or decide to, where is possible, to change dynamically the price of a product to improve the result of those products. So, and the core of that is basically a reinforcement learning approach. Won't go too much in detail about that, it's about technical, but basically we use a double Q learning model because the standard one had a lot of overestimation bias. So when a product was working well, there was, let's say, a big push on that. So of course it will create some problems. So we tested a bit these two different approaches, and we decided, and we are going with the double Q learning right now. And yeah, because it has much better estimate of what the impact of the action. So basically what we do is create, let's say, some sort of simulation where we say what will happen if we increase the budget of this cluster of products, and then we decide based on that. Of course, we have, let's say, a rail guard, a safety measure, where, for example, if an absurd result comes up, like, for example, putting all the money on a single product, stuff like that, we will just block it and not execute on the actual platform. And Retail Advantage is not just, let's say, vaporware right now. It's active from the beginning of the 2024. We have some pilots live. This year, basically, we managed more than 5 million of advertising budget on the platform. And we basically see an average improvement on the return on the budget spend. So ROAS is basically, if I spend $1, how much dollar I get back. So usually it's 1 to 5, 1 to 10. It really depends on the market sector that we are trying to push. But on the average, on our customer, we see that in an improvement of 42%, because as we said, we've really seen a lot of overspending or bad spending by the platform. And also activated a really huge amount of products that were completely ignored by the platform, because basically we push the platform to spend money on those kind of products, because the AI, as I said, behind that Google provides you or Meta provides you, of course, is focused on their objective, on their goals, not your. So by pushing instead to spend more money on the specific product that we decide, it's basically, and given the fact that they want your money, because if you give a budget to them, they will use 100%. This will is helping to activate new product in your catalog. So yeah, what we will do this year, we'll try to integrate more platform and also try to generate complete campaigns from the data. So you can test really different kind of campaigns automatically generated from the ground up. And yeah, that's it. I tried to be fast, so I'm open to any question if there is any. Okay. I don't hear nothing, so I don't know. Okay. So,
Davide, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just checking one question from the crowd. Davide, the connection is not great, so let's finish now.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Hi.
Yeah, let's move to a physical presenter now. A little bit more on great initiatives that are happening in Puglia. We have on stage now Nicolò, a good friend of us, and he will tell us a little bit more about a fantastic initiative to, make really the Bari, although I guess it's much broader, the initiative to become much more a digital city, a digital hub for foreigner, Italians, everyone. Thanks. Your time.
Thank you, Marco, and thank you to the friends of PugliaTechs. It's great to be here. Okay. First of all, how is everybody doing today? Long day? Quiet one. Yes, for all of us as well. Now, I want to ask the audience a question. Have you ever paid to go to a party? To a club? Of course. Why? You just paid for no reason. Okay. Anybody has actually paid and they knew why? Why? For drinks? Great. What else? To meet wonderful people. Gadgets. What else? Experience. Now, that's exactly what we're trying to do at ABCD, a Bari Capitale Digitale. We are trying to offer people an experience, something interesting to remember when you go home, and having a good time meanwhile, right? For a long time, the event has been free, except from the fact that last year we spent a lot of money, too much compared to what we raised, but that's not the point. I'm not here to convince you that you should pay a ticket to come to our event. Actually, there's going to be free tickets, right? What I want to tell you is that whenever you go to an experience, remember that you're either paying with your wallet or you're paying with your time. So I am particularly grateful to you all that are here, that even if you did not pay any ticket to attend this event, you're investing your time to meet wonderful people. So make it count. Ask questions to the people here. Pay attention to the slides. And if you don't like or you don't understand what you see, raise your hand and ask for a better experience. The same is true for Pierpaolo, the speaker who was here before, the friends of PugliaTechs, and us at ABCD. What we're trying to do is always to raise the bar of our events, our community, and our network. And that's why we're doing this event. Because we're not just happy with the city itself as it is. Sure, there are Dutch people deciding to move to Bari because people are nice, the sun is warm, and yes, you can swim in October. But that's not how we see Puglia in the next 20 years. We want a place that not only has jobs in technology, but has higher salaries. We want a place where we can meet people from New York, but not just 1, 20, 200, 400. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing ABCD. Last year, over 1,000 people subscribed to the event, investing their time in what we're trying to do. And that's what we're all trying to do. So what I'm saying is that, number 1, invest in your network in terms of time and effort. Actually, do pay attention when you go to event and make an effort to bring the experience to the next level. 2, and it's great that you're all here. Make sure that you show up, not just with your feet, but also with your eyes. I still have to make 5 people there look at me. I'm trying my best and they're totally ignoring me. They can't even say I'm talking about them. That's great. So even us from this stage need to do everything we can. Thank you. Yes, here. Hi. Need to do everything we can to build our community. So I'm here to pitch an event. You can see all about it in the website baricapitaledigitale.com, right? It's called ABCD. It's a great event. What I want from you is to tell you that nothing in life is granted, not even a city where you can find a job and a community. And showing up to events is not enough. If you're here, you're paying either with your wallet or with your time. And so when you go to an event, either because you have to and you paid, or because you're forced to, make sure you make the most out of it. Because in 20 years from now, we could be a digital capital or just a city where there is cheap labor, and instead of sewing soccer balls, we're going to be coding just to make ends meet. So the choice is ours. Grazie.
Fantastic presentation. Now we have Vincenzo on stage. He will talk about another great initiative that is happening here in Puglia. And actually the big event, I believe, is this week, right? Yeah. Okay, so no, you use this one. Yeah, so I use it for the question later.
So, all right, guys. So actually, Nicola was the first guy interviewed by these guys of Tornanza. They came to my place in Cerignola to interview me last week, and it was super fun. They wrote this book, which I strongly recommend, Tornanza. It's about people who got back here, like myself, after 20 years abroad. I came back from California to Califoggia, and they're gonna be they're gonna be at the. There's actually a big tourism convention that's going on at Fiera Levante, and on the 27th we're gonna talk about people like us who came back, and reasons why you should come back as well. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any questions about the event. But I think it's a wonderful opportunity to network with like-minded people and hear more about how people come back here and why people should come back. Maybe also what are the issues, right? Because there's definitely some issues around that as well that we can solve together, I guess, if we talk about it more. So that's it, unless anybody has questions. But I think if you also connect with Flavio Alba, and last name? That's it. Flavio Albano, you can connect with him on LinkedIn in case you have any questions as well. But I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. So now we have the last speaker for today. Now we move to business, and we have a fantastic speaker talking about marketing, customer success, and everything about AI. So please, Ilaria, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Marco. Thank you, everyone. I hope I'll be quick. I know we are all tired, but I just want to, before talking about the product, I'll be very little technical, and it's not going to be boring, I promise. I just want to bridge a bit from what Pierre said, Nico, everyone. I am from Bari. We started a startup 3 years ago. We had no clue about what AI was and how we could potentially use it as a product. We ended up, after 1 year, saying, you know what, maybe there is a good opportunity in business to use AI to solve one little problem that many companies have. And our CTO, Edvaldo, which knew nothing about AI, started studying, because there are many free sources online where you can study about AI. Of course, he's a software developer. He did not graduate, by the way, so you don't necessarily need a degree for that, but that's another topic. So he started studying, we started developing a software, and I decided also to move back to Bari from Berlin, where I was living before, to do it here, because there are lovely people, there is a wonderful community. I'm so happy to be here with the PugliaTechs guys, and you're doing such a great job. So I hope to connect all these dots with this story, and I'll share a few details regarding what we think it's working, and it's slowly working with the 200 companies right now with AI. So, okay, maybe, aspetta, vabbè, I can make it work either way, it's fine. It's fine, okay, perfect. So, what do? I'm talking to you now as employees, people who work in a company or will work in a company someday. Probably you will use emails. Everybody does. Everybody does do email for communicating between each other, sending marketing campaigns, replying to clients for customer care, etc., etc., etc. We all love emails, but we are bombarded by emails. So they end up in spam. They have very low open rates, and they are pretty much static. So it's a one-way conversation. You read it, maybe after a while you reply, and it's all a bit old and boring. What we try to do is to change this and move it in WhatsApp, which has wonderful open rates, which could be very personalized, and connecting to what Davide said, has a very high ROI or ROAS, return on investment. For the company, it's profitable to invest in a channel like WhatsApp because it's friendly, people use it, people open the messages you send, and they interact with them if these messages are written in a nice, engaging, and personalized way. So if you maybe use WhatsApp for business, you probably are very stressed out because you need to reply to many, many messages, and you can't keep a high standard to these replies. If indeed it's AI which is doing that for you, and you are designing this AI agent, probably it's gonna be nice and engaging. This is what we are trying to do with TechsTS. So we aggregate, store data and customer data, so from e-commerce businesses, from their CRM, for wherever your data are stored. We learn from this data, and we use AI to deliver the right message at the right person at the right time. Maybe it's the birthday of the daughter of your best client. Why not sending them a message and say, hey, by the way, Marco, very happy birthday to your sister. I know you don't have a daughter, that's why. So just, be there, be present, be nice to your customers. So We do it with different flows. I just gave you one example, which is an abandoned checkout flow that sends a very personal message, and without AI, the conversion rate it's 17%. With AI, it's 3.5% higher. It's money for your business, even for you as an employee, which might, end up suggesting a strategy which has a better ROAS than another one. This is just one example. We're doing a bunch of things, but the good thing is that what we believe, it's not just this. This is the beginning. AI is what we have now as a tool, but what we think it's meant to stay are messaging apps. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, maybe the app that is going to come tomorrow or in 5 years from now. We believe that businesses and customers are not going to talk anymore on emails or on websites. We believe they're going to talk on social media's messaging apps. So in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, no website will be needed. You just open WhatsApp. If tomorrow it's not going to be WhatsApp, it's going to be another app. But as right now it's in China with WeChat or in South America with WhatsApp, you just need that to communicate, and it has to be funny, simple, engaging. And AI is helping us to do it. So we take advantage of this opportunity. We grow thanks to that. We'll see where we end up. But if you are here and you have a startup, want to build one, want to use AI, I'm happy to talk and share experiences. I'm doing marketing and sales. I'm not a tech person, but I kind of understand a bit how it works to be able to sell it and explain it to companies. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I guess we just check if we have some questions from the crowd. Question? Yes?
Hi, Ilaria. Thank you very much for your speech, and I think it was very related also with the first one, where you said just start doing something on that, and it's amazing. And it's also amazing how we can put all these things together. As a matter of fact, I know that you are also organizing ABCD, and from what concern that, I haven't understood very well what it is going to be in practice, how many days, how many speeches there are going to be, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to ask either to you or to Nicolo or to both of you some more specific and additional information about that.
For sure. Thank you so much, Ale. You know a lot about TechCS already, so let's focus on ABCD. We do work together on this project. We are a lot of people. It's going to be the 4th and the 5th of April in Piazza Ferrarese in Spazio Miura. There's going to be 1,000 people and, 20 or more great speakers. The level of the speaker is very high. And these people are coming either from Bari or from abroad to share their experience and their belief that you don't really need to live in Milano, Berlin, Londra, New York, or these kind of places to build something great and doing it with great people around you. This is what we are believing, that what we are building. And if you are here today, it's the proof that we can do it. And we are doing it. So please come and join other 1,000 people that are doing this together.
Okay, I think thanks a lot for the presentation. We have a nice session of networking, so any question could go through talking to each others. So first of all, thanks for everyone involved today. Bona Sforza University. We didn't talk about Millionaire, which is our media partner. Everyone involved in editing, video, streaming, presenting, marketing, photography, everything. And just maybe the last information, the next event is the 19th of March. We're going to be at the Acquedotto Pugliese. So I think I gave all the info, right? Yes? I think so. Well, thanks a lot and see you soon. Bye-bye.